Captain's log, Stardate 2010. These are the voyagers of the starship Pivoteer, headed for the Dynamics Federation's meeting on the planet Directions in the San Diego galaxy. Our mission is to report the discovery of the precious warp fuel components RDL 2008 and RDL 2010. As the delegates on Directions meet to chart the future, Commander NAV data will report on moving reporting engines from slow, insecure impulse drives to 21st century warp technology. The future of the Federation depends on putting Pivoteer's discoveries to use.
Greeting, delegates. My positronic analysis has shown that Pivoteer had already added ad hoc reports for use by any non-technical person, financial reports, and Visual Studio reports for developers. The ad hoc report, if we review it quickly, allowed us to have multiple output options because of the use of Report Viewer 2010, and that allowed the use of charts, collapsible subtotals, sortable columns, and graphical indicators that are only possible with the RDL 2010 specification in a local viewer. However, if we looked at the financial reports, these are structured around your general ledger structure, your GL account, and your dimension structure. And that allowed you to produce reports. In this case, we're going to run it to Microsoft Excel. And we can see we created tabs for each department automatically. So we have dynamic rows, columns, and pages for financials, all rendered in the latest Microsoft reporting technology. And then for you developers, forget Seaside. 19th century stuff. You can now use and set up options parameters within your role-tailored client experience, set them up, do all your design using the Visual Studio Report Designer, which is colorful and modern, save the reports, preview with live data within Visual Studio if you are login credentials, and then save them for consumption by your end users. However, the discovery of RDL 2008 and the vast abundant elements we discovered and the components of RDL 2010 now make it possible to do three-dimensional funnels, three-dimensional graphics, gauges, and as we can see here, sparklines, and computer expand, thank you, indicators that are part of the RDL 2010 specification, data bars, and as you see at the bottom, sparklines at the subtotals. Truly visually stunning. Even an Android must be impressed with this technology. If we go look at the role-tailored design experience, here's where we selected the three-dimensional funnel. The user gets a visual representation of what that element will look like. Similarly, if we go look at the columns we placed on that table region within the report, remember we can have multiple table regions. Here is the sparkline. Computer, show. Thank you. An indicator for the line sparkline. Computer lookup. And as you can see, all the modern RDL 2010 specifications for indicators for circles, traffic lights, so on, the color renditions, 3, 4, or 5 values, and all the sparklines and data bars that you would expect. Again, visually stunning. The report was produced without any programming knowledge by an NAV end user, including multiple sections that are graphical regions at the top, and in this case, one table region at the bottom. Furthermore, one of the most impressive elements that we discovered off the Pivoteer design concept is any of these reports can be published to the viewer and out to other output formats, including SQL Server reporting services, so reports can be consumed by non-NAV logged in users.